coaching. Good morning. Good morning. Time to dive into all of this. So, good morning. Aloha and welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Well, actually, it's the live. I do a podcast. Check out the podcast. It's on Apple. We don't normally do commercials on our lives, but yeah, check out the podcast. The most recent podcast just went up yesterday, as a matter of fact. So check it out. It's called the Kekuewa Jr. Show. Billy, good morning, Billy. Hey, good morning, guys. I see you guys. I see you, Gene. Good morning. Jay, good morning. Jay's our moderator on that side over there. So we have a bunch of cameras. We're not on, let me see. We are not on IG this morning. Okay, so before we get started with this, let me just do this real quick, okay? And then we shall be on IG because we want to share with them as well. Okay, so we have a camera over here, camera over there, camera over there, camera over there. And here we go. Okay, so today we're talking about the power of the tongue, okay? How it speaks life and death, okay? Because you read these scriptures, right? And when you read these scriptures, what do you think? You think all kinds of stuff, right? But it's your subconscious, okay? How do you speak life and death through the subconscious? Well, I'll tell you, when you speak something good, okay, it comes back to you through your subconscious, okay, because your subconscious is always listening. When you speak death, what does that mean? Negativity, okay? When you speak death or when you wish something bad upon someone, guess what happens? It goes into your subconscious. So when you judge others, you're judging yourself, basically is what it means, okay? So when you have a habit of judging others, it's because your subconscious has put you into this role, okay? Now, you're all playing a role, all of us, myself included, okay? My role is teacher right now. Earlier, my role was, I don't know, playing my guitar. I was practicing this morning. So anyway, whatever your role is, okay? The trick is to be aware of your role. Are you aware? First of all, are you aware you're playing a role? Because you are awareness in here. So you can see the role that you're playing. You know what role you're playing if you're aware that it's a role. Because otherwise, what are we? We're spirit. We're spirit in here. You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that spirit that lives in here. Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Judy Allen. Linda, good morning. So you're that spirit that lives in here. So everything you do is a role. Human beings are multifaceted, okay? Now, when those roles get confused, when those roles that you play get confused or they start meshing into each other, that's when you get confusion. That's when you get confused. That's when things go wrong. But when you're aware, awareness tells you exactly what you're doing. So you can observe your thoughts, you can observe the emotions that go with the thoughts, you can observe what you're doing, right or wrong, and you pass judgment on it, which is where we get negative self-talk from. But you're aware of all these things. Some people are not aware that they're playing a role. So it's very critical that you acknowledge your awareness, okay? You're not your body, you're not your name, you're that awareness that lives in here. So if you can observe all these things, who's doing the observing? And where does it come from? Some people think it's the fifth dimension. Some people think we originate in the fifth dimension. I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are aware that you are awareness. That's what matters, okay? Now, what power does it have in manifestation? How can we use it to get a better life, okay? Because I've done this over and over and over since 2007. Like, I can't tell you how many things, and sometimes I give up. Sometimes I go, okay, this is just another thing. This is just another bunch of money. This is just another project. This is just another accomplishment. And when you start learning this, right, after a few, you go down the road, right, and you accomplish this, you get money, things, And then pretty soon it's like, what else am I going to do? So I was really stuck after my entertainment career. Okay, I had an entertainment career, consulting. We built the companies and everything. And then it was like, I don't know what the next step is. What are the next goals? Okay, because to me, retirement is a dirty word, right? You retire, that's like a death sentence for people. And people celebrate retiring, okay? Now, these are the people who have lived on the mouse wheel. Okay, what am I talking about? Go to work Monday through Friday, okay? 9 to 5, whatever the hours are. But 9 to 5, right? On Saturday, it's soccer with the kids. On Sunday, it's church with the family, picnic, whatever. Monday, you're back on the mouse wheel. You live like this over and over and over and over and over and over. You retire at whatever retirement age is. I don't know. I'll never retire. But retirement age, okay? About 65, 70, 72, whatever it is. 74, I don't know. I have no idea. That doesn't interest me. So, but those things, right? And then you retire, and then you take a few cruises, then you get sick and die, or hopefully you don't get sick, but you get old, okay? And because you have used all this energy, okay, you put all this energy into what? Earning things, money, things, whatever, bonuses, whatever, okay? But we need this in society, right? For society as a whole to be productive. Okay, but you put all your energy into this, right? And it's boom, 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 push, 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 push. And then what happens at retirement age? Now we got to take all this money and we got to give it to the HMO. Why? Because, well, my body's all worn out and I have to attend those cruises with my friends, right? Or whatever. Okay, so I'm here to tell you that the mouse wheel, okay, is the system. The mouse wheel is the system. You have to pull yourself up and out of the box, of the system, and look back in and go, oh, it's that, and see it for what it really is. Now, a lot of my clients that are professionals, they're all professionals, but the ones that wake up. Okay, so the blinders, human blinders look like this. And when human blinders go off, it looks like this. And then it goes back up again. Why? Because we have the calendar, because we have the clock, because we have parameters, because we have regulations, because we have rules and laws and, right, things that govern, okay? Principalities, as it were. Okay, but we have these things. So the blinders go back up again. But you have literally minutes of clarity. Okay, when you're in deep prayer, when you're in meditation, guarantee. Okay, because I don't get those. I pray every day. I say the Lord's Prayer every day, just in case you're wondering, and I end it in Jesus' name. I do not say amen because that's worshiping another God. Okay, but I say so be it. Okay, which is what they tell you amen means, but it's kind of sort of esoterically not so. All right, so anyway, it was an assigned closing to the prayer. Okay, anyway, so when you get really deep into things and the origins of things, right? Okay, for example, the system is comprised of all of these things that were manufactured. Okay, December 25th is not necessarily what they tell you it is. Oh, thank you so much, Rock Painting Mama, thank you. Okay, Easter is not really what they tell you it is. Okay, and I can go on. Halloween, okay, if you must. And here's the thing though, right? We want to participate in things, but we want to know it's safe. Okay, because here's what happened. All of these pagan celebrations throughout time have been commandeered, okay, and turned into Christian holidays and Christian things. But the roots, okay, we always talk about the roots of the tree, okay? The roots of the tree. Hey, Kamox, good morning, cowboy. How you, bro? Happy birthday to your wife, by the way. Happy birthday. But the roots of these things, if the roots of something is, let's say, I don't want to be too strong with this, but if it's, let's say, shady, And you come along and you say, okay, no, January 1st was a celebration of a certain god, right? So we're gonna go, okay, no, we're gonna apply New Year's on, we're gonna add New Year's on here. So now it's New Year's, okay? It's not the celebration of a god, of a certain, right? A certain pantheon, a certain, yeah, okay? And then we're going to celebrate New Year's here. But underneath, the foundation is still pagan. So what is this now? Well, you're still celebrating on that day. They still got you to celebrate on that day, right? Okay, there you go. Okay, December 25th, Saturnalia. Okay, do your research. Okay, so it's not necessarily what they make it up to be, but you have all of these labels, all of these other things piled up on this, on these days, on these things. But this is what the mouse wheel is. This is what society is. This is the delusion. Okay, sometimes it's an illusion, sometimes it's a delusion. But it's the system. Now, Christians say that you can be in the system, but not of the system. You can be in the world, not of the world. But it involves some thinking. It involves some thought. Okay? And when you start putting thought into these things, you go, oh, okay. You can observe it and not engage with it or the meanings of it. Because when you acknowledge something, you give it power. Energy flows where attention goes. Okay, so this is where we have, a lot of well-meaning people dressing their kids up for Halloween. Oh, it's okay. They're just going to, they're just going to this clubhouse and they have a little haunted house and, it's okay. Really? Depending on your belief system, right? Depending on how you believe. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. But depending on your belief system, that could be counterproductive to what you profess to believe or how you believe, okay? Because if you acknowledge it, you give it power. Did you know that Halloween was the number 2 celebrated holiday in the United States? Number 2. Yeah. Okay. So it's pretty popular. Okay. So the question I would have, the question is, how many Christians are celebrating Halloween? Raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. I'm just kidding. Okay. But see, this is why we are forced into this kind of hypocrisy. It's not their hypocrisy, it's ours. Okay? It's totally ours. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm saying it happens. Okay? And I'm not here to preach, you got to be good, you got to be whatever, or you got to be bad. I'm not here to do either of that, either of those things. I'm here to tell you how this works. Subconsciously, when you have conflict, okay? Conflict. Like, let's say, for example, oh, I go to church, but we're just going to take the kids for Halloween so they can enjoy a get-together. There's a conflict. Okay, I'm here to tell you there's a conflict. When there's a conflict in your subconscious, there's a conflict in your manifestation. Okay? There's going to be a conflict in your manifestation. Why? Because they're two separate things going against each other. Two different ideologies going against each other. One is celebrating All Hallows Eve, and one is okay, the church group is going to do its own thing for Halloween. We're all going to dress up. So basically you're practicing the same thing on the same day. It's just that, but this one is this. We're going to put this label on this one, but it's going to be the same thing. It's the same day. You're honoring the same entity. The same entity. Okay? So the good news is that when you're consistent with your beliefs, okay, when the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious are in alignment, okay, and not counter manifesting and not in conflict, things flow. Things flow. And this is where religion works. Okay, when you're consistent in this, when synergistically the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious work together. Now, this doesn't have to be a religious thing. When you're spiritual and the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are in alignment and working synergistically together, you can achieve anything quickly. People always ask me, especially the young people, "Oh, Uncle, how did you do this? Uncle, how did you do that so fast? Like, Uncle, how did you, do whatever," right? And I'm like, it's easy. I made up my mind. But you have to make up your mind. Okay, let's look at making up your mind. How does it work? How do I do this, Uncle? Like this. Watch. The conscious mind picks the topic. It picks the subject. It says, we are going to do that, whatever that is. Now, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. So if you keep thinking that thought, okay, if you apply affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization to it, it has to happen. It has to happen. No such thing as it not happening. Okay, but it has to be realistic to your subconscious, right? So now your subconscious believes it in repetition. So now it's here as a belief in your subconscious. Your subconscious will look for confirmations of it. Your subconscious will look for opportunities. Your subconscious will look for opportunities to make that subject matter happen. Then what happens? Then the superconscious, or God, will give you intuitive thought about that topic. Now, it doesn't matter if this topic is good or evil or good or bad or right or wrong. It doesn't matter. It only matters what you believe to be true. And what you believe to be true is going to receive intuitive thought. So if you're practicing evil, you're going to get intuitive thought concerning evil possibilities. Okay, I'm just saying what it is. It is what it is. We're human beings. This is why evil people in the world succeed with whatever they're doing. Okay, look back through history, go look at all the evil people, all the evil things that happen, okay? They had it down to a science, some of them, okay? But this is how it happens. So like I said, I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody. I'm not here to say, oh, you got to be a saint, you got to go to church, you got to go to temple, you got to go to synagogue. No, you don't have to do anything. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you how this works and how to apply this. Okay? Because when I applied it to whatever I applied it to, it was automatic. I just had to wait sometimes. Sometimes you have to wait. It got so crazy, okay, or let's say so fine-tuned. Nowadays we use the word crazy like that, right? It got so crazy, like it got so good, I could just speak something because my subconscious was fine-tuned. It was listening. It was alert. It was like, okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What's the next belief? And one day I wrote down and this may be TMI for a lot of people, so if it's TMI for you, we're going to skip it. We're going to just touch over this, okay? I wrote down, I am so happy and grateful now that I have a playmate. Thank you. 2 weeks later, she showed up. I'm not flexing. I'm telling you that it's possible when the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are fully in alignment. So, wait a minute, Uncle. Are you telling us we can manifest the girl of our dreams? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did this experiment on the radio years ago when I did radio. 3 of us wrote it down, okay? So you have to be specific if you're looking for something serious, okay? For example, I want a girl with black hair, with, I don't know, brown eyes, with, right? And you write down the age, education level, all of these things. We did all of this live on the radio, 3 of us. Each of us met that girl. The more specific you are, the better. Now, how does this work? Well, you remember, the subconscious looks for confirmation, right? And pretty soon, if you want to call it God, if you want to call it the universe, if you want to call it source, if you want to call it Jesus Christ, okay? Because, according to your parameters. Now, if you're a Christian, maybe you have a different set of goals, right? Maybe she's whatever. Maybe the description's different, maybe not. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But when you write it out, God will go, here, how about this one? Right? Maybe you go on the first date, couple dates. No, not that one. Oh, how about this one? Oh, how about this one? How about this one? So in my private group, I have a private group. If you want to join the private group, it's a subscription. It's cheap, a couple bucks. Okay. Oh, thank you. Hey, Rosanna. Thank you, Rosanna. Love you, Rosanna. Love you so much. Thank you. That's my buddy, Rosanna. So in my private group this morning, right? If you join my private group, you'll get these in-depth discussions because I can't do it on my lives because there's a couple of channels that will censor me. Okay, so it doesn't allow me to get real deep into topics, especially relationships because of the PC element of things now. Okay, but women and men are hardwired completely differently. Completely. Okay? Women just want to be loved. They want to be loved and cherished and, okay, all that stuff. But men have to decide whether they're going to be the lover or the provider. And I'll give you this much on the live, okay? You can get the rest in the subscription. And it's only, it's private, so it's only a subscription because it's private, because we want you to be invested in the channel. So check it out. It's on my, it's in my my Facebook stories. If you're on these other networks, check it out on my Facebook. So it's a page on my Facebook, Here For You Life Coaching. So anyway, men are hardwired for logic, most of them. Women are hardwired for survival, almost all of them. So she doesn't love you, guys. She doesn't love you. Not in the way that you know love, okay? But because men learn love from their mommies, they go out in the world looking for mommy, and she doesn't exist. Okay, so men need to figure out the parameters there. They need to, some men are serial monogamous. They get married over and over and over. And the story I told on the live, on my, well, it was a live, but I did it for my subscription group. The story I told is about this guy who went to the Philippines and married somebody and brought him back, and and his reasoning with me was, he goes, well, I'm the kind of guy that likes to be married. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, but he told me that because I'm single and I date, right? And he's like, he's trying to, be Mr. Moral values guy, right? So and that's why he told it to me. And I'm like, okay. In 2 months, he was divorced. She divorced him. Okay. Because his whole attitude was off. Because his understanding was off. Because he does not understand women. Okay. So anyway, if you go to the subscription page, there's more on this. We're going to do more relationship material there. But just understand that women want to be loved and men want to be appreciated. Men love to provide. Men are genetically engineered to provide and to protect. So we love to do things for women. Okay. Now, women that have, let's say, a high self-esteem, okay, high self-worth, that doesn't freak them out. Okay, because they know. Women who have low self-esteem or have low self-worth in that kind of situation, right, they'll totally run from that. Why? Well, because you do this to her when you do that. Okay, so you have to know how to do it, guys. Okay, you have to know how to do these things. You have to know how to provide. You have to know how to love, how to be there, how to, okay? And anyway, I don't want to get any more violations on my live, so I'm going to kind of cut it there. But yeah, there's a lot more to it. Go to the private page, subscribe. I think it's $1.99 a month. If you stay there for 1 month, you will learn so much. Okay, because attraction is not a choice. When a woman is attracted to you guys, it's not a choice. There's something there that's going, wow, like that. And if you can be that guy, okay, if you get that kind of response, you have a choice. Lover, provider, okay? So you got to choose between the two. I will put more on that channel. All right, let's get back to the subconscious. So your subconscious, okay, your subconscious is the one, okay, now let's go relationship for a little bit with the subconscious. Your subconscious is the one in the relationship, okay, that learns patterns. So the guys that are, married and then divorced, married, then divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced. These are, and it's not just guys, girls do it too, okay? Just to be fair, girls do it too. Okay, but these things that happen, marriage, divorce. How do you change your subconscious, Kurt? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you put my name in any browser and you put teaching method after it, or let's say, the forward method, which is the name of my method, it'll give you all the information for free on what to do. So check it out. So in a relationship where you have that kind of thing, right? Married, divorce, married, divorce, married, divorce. It's because you haven't changed your subconscious. Men have more problems with this than women. Why? Why is that? Okay, you know how men don't ask for directions? Here, guilty, right? We try to figure it out. Why? Logic, left brain, ego, male ego. Okay, left brain. Women are emotional beings. Oh, right brain. Feelings, compassion, love, okay, imagination. But this is what we're here to learn. The journey of Moses, esoterically, is the journey from the left hemisphere of the brain to the right. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. I say this almost every day because you need to learn this. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father for a reason. It's depicting the right hemisphere of the brain. That's where God speaks to you from. The intuition. Follow your intuition. Easier life. Easier life. When you push, okay, the vibration stays out here. Push. You're keeping your blessings out here. Push. Left brain, logic, figuring it out, pushing, harder, working harder. Push the envelope, push. 2-3 jobs. Your blessings are right there at the end of this energetic force field that you're projecting. Okay? Now, what happens when you relax? Your blessings come to you. You see? So what is it? I just had this conversation with a business client of mine yesterday. Right? I said, you got to find your rhythm. Everything happens in rhythm. Everything is a vibration. Everything in the universe. Everything. There's a time that money comes in and money goes out. Love comes in, love goes out. Right? PMS comes, PMS goes out. Okay? So everything is in action and reaction. Action, reaction. Okay? Yeah, search my teaching method online. You can go actually to, I haven't searched all kinds of browsers or anything. Uh, or you can go to, Jay, have him go to Google, and Google AI probably has the most complete information on me. Google has the most complete information, I think, on anybody. But yeah, try that. Try that. Sorry, we have a chat going on over here. Yeah, Kurt. Or you can message me, Kurt. I'll answer your questions if you message me. No problem. I'm here for you guys. So anyway, right? You have to get used to your rhythms. You have to get used to rhythm. Everything happens in rhythm. Because if you were happy all day, every day, that's the equivalent to push, 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 push. Okay? Moods go up, moods go down. Moods go up, moods go down. Okay? So you, as awareness, need to be aware of your moods. When does this happen? Okay, I'm here to tell you that you can take yourself out of the box and observe 1 month. Easy. Easy. You can track yourself. Okay, I'll tell you a story that's really funny. I had a girlfriend once that had really bad PMS during full moon. And, I was on my way to the car, carrying all my stuff in my hand from her place, right? And I was putting it in the trunk, and I looked up and I go, wow, there's a full moon up there. And I go, this is supposed to be a time for love, right? You hear that, right? Oh, full moon, it's time to love, time to, have romance, full moon, that kind of thing. And I put my stuff in the trunk. And then, we made up and got back after a few days. And then there was another big blow up about a month later. And then I was walking to the car with all my stuff again, And I was putting my stuff in my car and kind of looked up in the sky, and I'm like, hey, there's a full moon again. Wow. So, I'm a typical man, right? We're not really fine-tuned into these things like women are, right? Because I've got serious things like work to think of. And I put my stuff in the trunk, and I'm driving home, and then it hits me halfway home. Hey, wait a minute, the full moon has something to do with this, right? And this is where we get the expression lunatic from. It's in reference to the moon, okay? And so, if you know a nurse, especially an emergency room nurse, ask her if they're busier during the full moon. She'll tell you, okay? Anyway, so I got a tide chart, one of those calendars with the moon, the phases of the moon, and fishing chart, and I started to track. Like when it happens. And I found it happened 3 days before the full moon. Okay, so and it was funny. It was funny because 3 days before the full moon, she would start complaining about stuff. And I would go, okay, look, this is what's gonna happen. And she was like, no, that's not gonna happen. 3 days later, I'm taking my stuff to my car again. Okay, this went on for 5 years. And but the reason I'm telling you is because you need to be aware. You need to be aware that these things are relevant. Okay, everything is relevant in the universe. Everything has its place. Everything is in the universe for a reason. But if you want to track yourself, just be aware. Okay, how does awareness expand? You got to get rid of the stress, the anxiety. You got to get rid of all the overthinking, all of that. How do you do that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you put my name in Google AI or any browser and put teaching method after that, everything will come up, and you can ask it questions and it will answer everything. Okay, so you guys don't have to pay for anything. Unless you want to work with me, then things will happen a lot faster. Okay, but I'm expensive, so I try to, I try to make it easier for people. Okay, I mostly serve professionals, and I do take clients, but I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to give you. Okay, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Kurt. anytime. And you can write to me at Junior at Here For You Life Coaching anytime, and I will answer your email. I get a lot of email, and I do answer all my emails. Sometimes it takes me a little while. I just had a email marathon last night, so I had to take care of it. But yeah, so anyway, but here's the thing, right? When you can observe your rhythm, okay, then you will know, okay, it's this certain period of the month. So with my business client that I was talking about yesterday, right? In the very beginning, I started tracking his emotions. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this, okay? You just have to be an astute observer. And the way you do this by getting rid of all the junk. Okay, then you can observe. And then we identified that 1 week where everything went down. Mood went down. Self-esteem went down. Self-confidence went down. Okay? He was feeling exhausted. And I said, okay, this is that week right here. So what did we do? We put emphasis on that week to make that week extra motivational, to sort of push him through. It wasn't really push, because we don't push. Encourage him through, okay? And what this means in coaching is like, all right, this is that week, so you need to set some goals for this week. And you need to be proactive this week, and you need to be extra careful this week. Why? Because otherwise you're going to fall into a slump. And if you do that, it takes away from the productivity from the past 3 weeks. Okay. And what was really funny, and I don't mean to, but I got to tell you guys this because you need to be aware. Okay. He showed me a thing. He goes, oh, I've been following this guy on YouTube. Okay. When you're following people, be careful. Okay. Really be a good observer. So I follow this guy on YouTube. So he gave me the guy's video, and I saw this guy, and he was coaching executives, and he was coaching sports figures and whatever. And he comes out on his YouTube video like this. He's like this, and the audience is over here, and he's like this, and he's talking like this, and his audience is over there, and he's talking like this. And he's going like this once in a while. He's talking like this and going like this. So the first thing I noticed about that guy was like, okay, number one, he has no confidence. He can't face his audience. He can't face these guys. Probably suffering from, imposter syndrome. And it happens to the best of people. Okay, it happens to the best of people. Yes, that's the one. HereForYouLifeCoaching.com, Kurt. You got it. Yep, you got it. And so sharpen your observational skills. It'll help you at work, it'll help you with relationships, and it'll help you with yourself, okay? Because we observe ourselves in motion. And that's one of the problems that we have, okay? It's a plus and it's a minus. It's an attribute, okay? And it can work against you. But when you observe your rhythm, you'll see that there's a certain period of the month, and I'll bet you it's at least 4 days long for you, okay? Where things are kind of like, oh man, it's really hard to get going, really hard to get motivated, okay? Not necessarily the full moon, but it will be a period of time for you. Why? Because human beings were not designed to go, produce. Okay, that's crazy. It's crazy. That's where you get, that's where you get neurotic people from, okay? They're driven into obsession, but the subconscious learns to do that. So whenever you get a high performance person, their subconscious has been programmed for high performance. I was very lucky to be at a conference with Dr. Amit Goswami, who is an Indian scientist. He's a quantum physicist, probably number one in the world. There's about 3 or 4 of them that are in the top echelon. And he told me, he said, you guys in the Western world, you guys have it all wrong. He said, because when you push, everything stays away. So it's like an energy field. Everything is energy in the universe. When you're exerting energy, push, gotta go, gotta do. Right? I see these ladies do this, and they're like totally counterproductive to what they could have made tons more money. And they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money, but they could have made tons more. But they've been conditioned into believing that you have to push. And that's not true. Not true at all. You have to find your rhythm. Back in the 80s, there was this thing called biorhythms. That was kind of, sort of, almost what it is. Almost. But biorhythms are a thing. Okay? But I see these executives that push, full schedule. Oh, it's crazy. I got to do all of this. So I only have one day. And then they collapse one day. And then it takes the whole day to recover. And then they push again. Right? I used to do that. Guilty. Okay? Sometimes I still get back in to doing that sometimes. And I have to take the bridle and I have to yank it like that and go, dude. Sometimes I call myself dude. And I have to go, dude, come on. What are you doing? You're pushing. Okay, but high achievers are like this. This is automatic for a high achiever. And I see these high achievers, right? And here's the bad part, okay? Take notes. You ready? This is free. Here we go. The high achiever, okay, is susceptible to a false identity because they identify with the job. They're push, okay? They are owned by the clock. They are owned by the calendar. And pretty soon, halfway through the race, yeah, maybe that's 10 years, 20 years, maybe that's 25 years, could be 30 years for some. But generally, it doesn't go that long before somebody goes, hey, I got to do something about this, 20 years, easy 20 years. What happens? They forget who they are because they've been programmed. Okay? And in most cases, they have done the programming into their subconscious, and their subconscious just repeats. So for the first 10 years, maybe you're programming. Maybe the first 5 years, 6 years, you're programming. Then you're supplementing. You go through all the self-help, you go through all the seminars, you go through all the meetings, you go through all the steps. Get all the certifications, get all the degrees. You keep going, grad school, keep getting more degrees. Good. And the majority of everything that you study, you never use. Because business is more about relationships. Sure. No problem, Kurt. Are there videos? Yeah, there's a lot of videos on my Facebook. Jay, can you give him my Facebook so he can watch the videos? You can give him the here for you. Yeah. Kurt, if you join the private group, it's a subscription. It's like $1.99. You get a lot of value out of that. And you can write to me too. So anyway, but here's the problem, right? They forget who they are. Why? Because they've been so programmed. Okay? They program their subconscious because, well, I need to get ahead. How do you get ahead? Oh, you change your diet. Okay. How do you get ahead? Oh, you meditate. Okay. How do you get ahead? Well, I got to be there at certain times. Push. Okay. Got to say yes to everything, right? Got to take on more responsibility. Pretty soon, you forget who you are. Pretty soon, your wife, who you give the black card to, your wife, who you give the swimming pool, the 2-story house to, and the Maserati to, or the Ferrari to, or whatever it is. I had a client, okay? He was an attorney, had twin girls. Came home one day, living the American dream. 2-story house, swimming pool, everything. Wife had a huge credit card, shopping anytime she wants. He comes home one day and she goes, I want a divorce. Out of the blue, I want a divorce. And his understanding of everything was, I give her everything. She has everything. She's a member of the country club. She has this beautiful home that people would kill for. She has a Beamer, convertible. We have 2 beautiful girls. She has a credit card that she can basically buy anything she wants. And she wants a divorce. Because on this insane journey through capitalism, which is not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying what it is. It is what it is. It's capitalism in the United States. But through this journey in commerce, capitalism, okay, you begin to serve the system instead of serving God. God lives in here. Okay. So if you're not observing this one, if you're not being good to this one, you're not loving this one, you're not being kind to this one, what do you think you're doing to God? We have eyes that look away from the kingdom. The kingdom is within. And we're looking over here. We're looking out there. You seek in here. You don't seek out there. When you seek in here, you get all the answers. Sure, it's nice to slay the dragon. It's nice to bring in that, $500,000 a year position. It's nice to do that. It's nice to become the CEO of whatever that makes you a few million a year. That's nice. But if you're not careful, if you don't put God first, okay, God is in here. If you don't put this one first, you don't put God first, you're a co-creator with God. If you don't put God first, and I'm not telling you what to believe. So if your God is Jesus Christ or Allah or, whatever, however, your belief system, superconscious. Okay, I'm not here to offend anyone. Superconscious. Your belief system. But if you don't put that first, you're taking away from this one. And pretty soon, this runs on empty. And when this runs on empty, it's just a hollow shell that keeps going. And then what? Then you've become a machine. Then you've become a component in the system, a component of the system. But with the proper understanding, you can be in the system and not of the system. I had the key fob to the corporation without a contract. Well, I had a business contract on the business end, but without a contract to sit in on the show that I sat in on. And I could do everything that the people that were contracted did without a contract. And none of the rules applied. I didn't have to dress up once a year and go in and negotiate a contract or do anything like that. So, when you put this first, when you put God first, you decide what it is you want to do from the conscious mind. When it goes into the subconscious as a belief, the subconscious will look, you want to do that? Well, you could do it this way, 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 this way. There's an unlimited amount of ways. There's not just 2 ways or 3 ways. Quantum physics tells us there's an infinite number of ways that something could happen. Once the belief is in the subconscious, the superconscious starts providing you with intuitive thought on what to do. Okay, so your options are subconscious, instructions, superconscious, and the superconscious go, well, why don't you go talk to Bob? And if you listen to your intuitive thought and you go talk to Bob, and Bob goes, oh yeah, we could use help with that. Yeah, we could use your help. Yeah, we could totally put you on the team. Yeah, we could totally pay you $500,000 a year. Sure, whatever. And Bob will make it happen. You have to bring something to the table. You have to be worth something. You have to know what you're worth. You have to, right? You have to be of some kind of benefit. You can't just walk into a CEO office and get hired. You have to have all the prerequisites. You have to have all of those things. All the qualifications. You have to have all of those things. But what I'm saying is you don't become an unconscious part of the system. Then you're only there every day, same thing, every day, same thing, every day. You're on the mouse wheel and you don't even know it. Every year, Christmas party. Oh, okay, Christmas party. Oh, it wasn't like the last. This year was better than last year. Oh, okay, whatever. Okay. And the mouse wheel keeps going. The merry-go-round keeps going. If you want to think of it that way, the merry-go-round keeps going. Oh, then it's Thanksgiving. Oh, okay, invite all the people over for Thanksgiving. Then, oh, then it's Christmas time. Okay, let's exchange gifts. New Year's. Oh, let's go party. Okay, it starts all over again. First quarter, back to the grind. For how many years? Then you retire, a couple cruises. Then you call it a life. You call that a life? So what's the difference? Well, the difference is when you can observe these things for what they are. You have control over what it is you're doing. You have conscious control over what you're doing. And you have subconscious control over what you're doing. And then you pay attention to the superconscious on this side. Now you have the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious working in synergy, working together. Because now you're paying attention to God, or higher self, or infinite intelligence, or as you believe. But it lives in here. The three states of consciousness live in here. If you call it source, you call it universe, whatever label you want to put on it. Labels are human. Labels are man-made, not God-made. God did not make labels. Man did all of that. But you are a very, very special being. Look in the mirror. It's a miracle that you're here. Not everybody gets to be here. You're the miracle. When you go into the bathroom, flip the light, turn on the light, look in the mirror, and just stand there for a little while. Just stand there and look at what you are. And then ask the question, who could have invented that? And understand not just what you are, but who you are. What you believe to be true, because that's in your subconscious. You can observe your hang-ups. You can observe your faults, your attributes. You can observe all of those things. You don't have to mask them because they're all important to you, for you. You don't have to pretend it's not there. Okay? Acknowledge, accept, and then correct. Anything you want to correct. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident, thank you. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm generous, thank you. I am so happy and grateful now that I am thoughtful, thank you. A human being becomes what they think. You have control over what you think. Because you can write the program like you can program a computer. It's the same thing. The conscious mind is your operating system. Subconscious is your hard drive where the programs are stored, literally, where the programs are stored. The superconscious is the network we're all plugged into. Why? Because we are all awareness. Sure, you have this group over here, you have that group over here, you have the gamers over here, you have, right? I mean, okay, you have the car enthusiasts over here, you have the models over here, right? You have. But we are all of one awareness. We are all one. If you need to feel this, if you haven't felt it already, if you need to feel this, you need to meditate. Close your eyes, close your distractors, okay? Because they look away from the kingdom. And sit still for 10 minutes a day. Once you sat still for 10 minutes a day for maybe about 2 weeks, maybe 3, you will discover the expansiveness of the universe. Of your universe, of you and your creator that lives in here. And then you can engage with the creator in here. And when you do that, you're going to find that all these labels out here don't mean anything. They really don't mean anything. The only thing they do is help us to think about it in a certain way. You know, this is the school. Oh, that building's a school. Oh, okay, it's a school. Oh, that's where you learn. Okay. This building is the restaurant. Oh, okay, that's where we go to eat. Oh, okay. Labels. Man-made, not God-made. Okay, God is in here. You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. This is temporary, okay? This body, okay, temporary. It will get old, you will shed it, and you will leave. There's a separation between the body and the spirit. The spirit belongs to God. God lives in here. However you believe. But when you engage with that, when you join with that, you are a co-creator with that. You can have, do, or be anything. The formula is ask, believe, receive. For you Christians, Mark 11:24. It's 8 o'clock and Jay is saying see you tomorrow. Okay, so see you guys tomorrow. And we pick it up again. And if you want to go do the subscription thing, I know I haven't really mentioned it too much. I'm not here to do commercials. I'm not here to promote my businesses. I'm not here to do that stuff. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to give. Okay. But if you want to join the subscription, it's on my Facebook. Jay can put up the address. I believe it's Junior Kekuewa Jr. 1 on Facebook. The number 1. Yeah. And then you can join the subscription page. There's a story right now going in my Facebook stories. Anybody has access, you can go in there and you can join. And you will get, some deep content. So I know, for those of you who are hearing all of this stuff for the first time or whatever, like, yeah, it's a lot to think about. I know. I was there. But anyway, so check that out. It's $1.99, and you can quit anytime, but you can go month to month and you'll learn more. You'll learn a lot more because it took me a long, long time to accumulate all of this and this understanding. But when you understand this understanding, when you understand you're bigger than you think, when you understand that you're bigger than the system, when you understand that you're bigger than anything created, okay, you have dominion over everything, okay? But most of all, you have dominion over this one. And this one can do amazing things. You guys are amazing, okay? So go look in that mirror, turn on the light, and go look at your miracle. I'm Junior. Thank you. And we're here for you, lifecoaching.com. And that's